Hello and welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. Today we will be discussing our favorite top 10 movies of 2018. We don't care about box office numbers. This is a subjective look at what we enjoyed most in the movies this past year. In the comments below, please share with us your top 10 movies of 2018. Starting off at number 10, Venom. Venom was a lot of fun, and we were pleased that Sony cleaned up the mess from Spider-Man 3's Venom. With great CGI, good humor, and plenty of action, we were treated with a Venom movie that earned every single dollar it brought in. I was one of the fans that secured a solid 84% audience score to the fact that fans were pleased, and I hope we'll get a Venom 2 in the next year or so. If Sony does make one, please, for everything holy, make it a rated R. Carnage in the background, whose host is a serial killer, so this one should be dark and violent.
Coming at number 9 is Bird Box. Once again, Netflix hit another one out of the park, with over 45 million accounts watching this movie. I really enjoyed Bird Box, but looking at social media, you either loved it or hated it. With an audience score of 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, that kind of makes sense. Now, Sandra Bullock shined in this thriller, and several supporting actors like John Malkovich and Trevante Rhodes nailed it. I enjoyed the relationship between Mallory Hayes and Tom. There were some pretty tense moments, and I loved all 3 chapters, including that scene where they're driving blind to the grocery store. And not to mention a very stressful ride through the rapids. Director Susanne Bier made a very wise call not showing us the monsters, since basically they looked like mature, old infants. Yeah, just trust me on this one. Number 8, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Marvel's 20th MCU installment followed the same characters from 2015's Ant-Man, and with an increase of over $100 million in box office sales compared to Ant-Man, this movie was a success. The humor was on point, they kicked up the fighting scenes, and the final cut scene was jaw-dropping. And on a side note, this had probably one of the most exciting and interesting car chases in all of the MCU.
Number 7, Aquaman. This movie is jam-packed with excitement rivaling Wonder Woman. Easily one of my top favorite DCU films after several disappointments in the past. Also passing the 1 billion mark. This is an action-packed, visually stunning movie with Jason Momoa's Aquaman just crushing it. I went into this film with low expectations, and what I found was some great fun and entertainment.
Coming in at number 6 is Jurassic World. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard reprised their roles in Jurassic World. Once again, we were thrilled with amazing effects featuring dinosaurs. Well-placed humor, and there was a certain scene with one of the bad guys in a cage with the smart dino. That was pretty damn stressful. I'm thinking he forgot to bring the lotion. Now, this movie did do over $1.6 billion, so we can expect more from Universal Pictures when it comes to our extinct friends.
Number 5, Black Panther. Once again, the MCU killed it. In the 18th installment in the franchise, we were introduced to new cultures, great set pieces, amazing action scenes, and one of the best villains to date. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger was a sympathetic villain that in certain ways was a victim growing up without a dad and not knowing the truth until he became an adult. Chadwick Boseman gave us one badass superhero. The two completed each other. My only disappointment was killing off Claw, played by Andy Serkis. Loved his character since he was introduced in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Coming in at number 4, we have Bumblebee. As a Transformer junkie / geek, I was blown away by this film. I gave up on the Michael Bay Transformers probably around the 3rd movie, since watching them fight looked like a bunch of metal trying to be chewed up by a trash compactor. Now, director Travis Knight, he gave us the 80s classic look of the Transformers, and I was able to name them as they were introduced, and that was so delightful. It was a great story, and Haley Steinfeld, who played Charlie Watson, gave an amazing performance. And John Cena, who played, your typical Agent Burns, typical soldier, he did a great job too. Now, looking at this movie, it truly was a cross between The Iron Giant and E.T., but without the sad ending and tears and blubbering stuff. Like I didn't do any of that. No, since there was hope at the end.
Number 3, Deadpool 2. What can we say here? The Merc with a Mouth, fourth wall breaker, sarcastic, swearing, killing machine came out with a bang and once again amazed fans. Between Ryan Reynolds, Josh Brolin, Zazie Beetz, or Mariana Baccarin, I can't tell you whose performance we enjoyed more. Well, Karan Soni as Dopinder stole every scene he was in. We also got the big-ass friggin' Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Not the stupid one from X-Men, but the real deal. The fight between him and Colossus was amazing. We pray for everything that is unholy that we will get a third Deadpool. Number 2, Avengers: Infinity War. The MCU fan base has been waiting for this movie for 10 years. I myself have been waiting since I discovered Secret Wars in 1985. With an impressive cast, amazing storyline, cool effects, great action scenes, and well-placed humor, the Russo brothers made an incredible movie. This movie blows by, and you don't even notice the 2-hour and 40-minute runtime. One major concern for us is how would they balance all those characters, but the Russo brothers did just fine once again, and we got the movie we wanted.
And coming in at number 1 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This movie completely caught me by surprise. I knew it was going to be good, but I had no idea it would have exceeded my expectation to the level that it did. Our two main heroes, Miles Morales and our very own Peter Parker Spider-Man, those two had amazing character development. At the very beginning, Miles Morales, he gets his Spider-Man powers. He has no idea what he's doing. He's messing up. He's afraid. Then we have Peter Parker, who just arrived in this dimension, and his only focus was, I gotta go home. He didn't care about anything else. And watching those two turn into the heroes that they were at the end of the movie was just awesome. We were also introduced to Spider-Woman, Spider-Noir, Spider-Ham, and Penny Parker. And I instantly fell in love with the entire group. They all shared the same characteristic of self-sacrifice, being a hero, always standing, always getting back up after being knocked down, and not to mention they're all pretty much a bunch of smartasses. Now, looking at the animation, it completely blew me away. Each Spider-Man had their own unique animation style, and it was just so amazing. Not to mention the story was just simply incredible. I also enjoyed the twist they made with the villains from this dimension. Doc Octopus was a complete shocker. Scorpion, loved that look. The Goblin, wow. And the Kingpin, he was pretty interesting. All I have to say is these villains looked a heck of a lot scarier in this dimension than the dimension that we're used to. Now, on a side note, I can neither confirm nor deny that I teared up at least a half a dozen times during this movie, and it definitely made number 1 in our top 10 list of 2018. So, that wraps up our top 10 list of our favorite 2018 movies. What is your top 10 list? Please include that in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed, please do so for future content. So with that being said, peace out.